Catherine Havrilla, and you're watching Orion Outreach. Today I'm here with Rod Kelsey and Vicki Durack, who are here from the International Student Exchange. They're here to talk about finding host families here in Oxford and Lake Orion. Hi guys, thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you for having us.
Do you guys want to talk about why students like to come to America to study from other countries?
Well, it's basically it's like a way of life in other countries. These kids are always coming to the United States to be exchange students, more so than Americans going overseas. And they come here to learn the American way of life through family living. They have their own insurance when they come. They have their own spending money, and they are responsible for their own personal expenses. The host family just agrees to, they're volunteers, and they agree to make sure that there's 3 meals a day for the student. They have a separate bed to sleep in. They can share a room with some, child of the same sex and appropriate age, and that's about it. And the family just agrees to bring them into their home as a member of the family, not a guest, and make sure that they have a quiet place where they can study, and the students come and they become part of that family. And that's something that doesn't end. It doesn't end.
Before the students come to the U.S., what kind of requirements do they have to meet?
Well, they have to apply, and they are what they call international representatives that screen the students. Their grades are screened. They have to have a teacher's recommendation to come. They make sure that the kids are open-minded and flexible, that they try to make sure that their expectations are not too drastic, and they will tell them what it's like, what it's going to be like in America. However, every family is different, so you don't know exactly what your family is going to be like, but you're going to learn the American way of life through family living.
And where are the students usually coming from? Are there certain countries, or is it all over?
Well, for ISE, there's like 45 different countries that kids are coming from. I can't tell you exactly what country, but most of the countries in Europe, there's countries in South America. There are kids from some places in Asia. Not every single country, like you're not going to get somebody from North Korea, but South Korea, maybe. And I know I've seen kids from Thailand, Taiwan, China. Hey, but they come from all over the world.
Vicki, you've hosted students before. Do you want to talk about your experience, how you enjoyed that, or how it went for you?
Yes, I enjoyed it immensely. I had a student from France, and we're now getting one from Serbia. And what I like about how ISE does it is you are given a selection of many, many students to choose from on the internet, and you can see photos of them, biographies. The students write biographies about themselves, and you read their interest, and so they try to match the child with the family interest. And for an example, she arrives on the 26th, our girl from Serbia, Maya, and Maya water skis, and my daughter water skis. She has a dog that's exactly like our dog, a little Maltese. Her parents are teachers. I'm a retired school teacher. She likes to play tennis. We play tennis. Oh, the interests are all just keep going on and on and on, where the interests are together. And that's what they try to do, so that it should be a good fit for the family and the host students. We enjoy learning their culture as much as they enjoy learning ours. So I'm interested in learning about Serbia as well.
You're saying, and other people that you said grow very close to their host students, or the families grow very close to the students.
Every family is different, but yeah, they'll grow close. Like a couple years ago, we had a boy from China, and he says, "Dad, I'm coming home." And he got hold of my wife. He says, "Mom, I'm coming home." Next week, all right, he goes to the University of Oregon, and next week he said he'll be home, so he's coming home. And if we don't happen to be at home, he's got a key, so he can just let himself in. And we've had other students, from Sweden. We've come home and there they are, and they say, well, that's what happens when you give me a key, you know. They just let themselves in, you know. But they consider our home their home here. So.
And you said the students were at colleges here in America. Where a lot of the students that come over here, do they end up coming back to America for school, or do they stay? Where do they go after the program?
Well, not very many. There's a few. We had a boy from the Czech Republic and a girl from China. We had 2 students 1 year, and they're both going to Saginaw Valley State. So they're going right here to Saginaw Valley State. And Crystal, I took her to do her get her English test, and to my wife took them to enroll in college and stuff. So they had to do just like any American student has to do. You have to enroll. You have to be accepted. And they went through all that stuff. They went through it all. And they wanted to go to Saginaw Valley State. They wanted to go to college in the United States. And just like Q, we call him Q, from China, his mother in China wanted him to go to the University of Oregon, and that's where he's going. So,
what kind of an effect do you think that coming to American schools has for these students?
Well, they come, they learn the American way of life, they learn how American schools are, and what they want to do is, like, our government figures that this makes for international understanding better. Okay, because the students come here, they learn about the American school, they learn about the American way of life through living with that family. They do everything that the family does. They have jobs to do every day, every week, whatever. My wife used to have what they call Saturday jobs. My kids, I have 5 kids, every Saturday, before they could do anything else, they had to do whatever it was, whether it was vacuum, clean the windows, dust, you know, whatever. Well, the exchange student fits right in, and they just do just like the rest of the kids do.
I agree.
They, once they're here, of course, not the first day, but you gradually figure a job that you want them to do, and this is their job to do, and they do that.
How often how do the students fit in with the families? You said sometimes they get along. With people with kids, do they report that having a student from another country helps their kids learn more about the world, and is that how?
Right. Well, in your family, because you've got somebody from a different country there, your kids learn to accept how it is. They learn about the other country. They learn to accept this student. The student learns to be in a family and do whatever the other kids in the family does. It usually, in most cases, it works really good. Works good. We're learning about their country while they're learning about our country. Not a whole lot, but we learn about their country. Certain things like we had a little girl from Japan. She was surprised when she got here because she thought all the driveways were paved with gold. Well, they're not paved with gold. You know, they're just like a driveway anyplace else. And most of the exchange students, all they know about the United States is what they see on TV. And everybody doesn't live in California. Everybody doesn't live in New York. And so we have seasons. It's hot in the summer, cold in the winter. They have to be able to have warm clothing for the winter and not so warm clothing in the summertime. I mean, it can be a wonderful experience. It is an experience, and most of the time it's a really good experience. But first they have to get here, and without host families, they're not going to come. That's why it's so important that people that see this want to open their heart, open their homes to one of these kids. So these kids that have had this lifelong dream of being an exchange student, they get one chance. This is their chance this year. They can't apply and come next year. They have to do it this year because this is when they applied. So they have one chance. This is their chance. We're just asking for people to, families to open up, give it a try.
How many students is the organization looking to place this year?
Well, every year, ISE places about 3,000 students. They usually have about 3,000 students to place. A little less than that, but roughly 3,000 students. And everybody, myself, there's other area representatives all over the United States, everybody's working every single day trying to find homes for these kids. And most of the time, we're successful right down to the end, but not all the time. And the kids that don't get a family, they cannot come. And once you have a family, then you have to get the school to say okay. So it's important to get a family as soon as you can, because schools aren't always that fast at signing the paper for the kids to come. So it's the sooner that you get a family, the sooner you can get the school to say okay.
Do you want to talk about the process of if a family wants to host a student, the process that they have to go through?
Well, first, they have to call me. They can call me or they can email me, whatever. And the first thing that has to happen is that I have to come to their home and do an in-home interview. Just like Mrs. Durek. I'd been to her house several times, but when she wanted to do it again this year, I still had to go back to her house and do my thing, right?
Right, it's an easy process though. It really is an easy process and it goes quickly and it's well worth it. Well worth it, and I encourage anybody that wants to be a host family to do that. Very, very rewarding experience.
But like I said, first thing is I have to come to your home and do my thing. And then I have to go back. Everything is online now. You don't really have paperwork to fill out. You got to do it on a computer. So I have to get it as soon as I can, as early as I can, and come home and right away I will get onto the computer and finish the stuff. And then once I've got my part done, then there's a regional advisor who has to okay it. Then there's the regional manager or regional director, same. They have to okay it. Then it goes on to the national office, and there's people there that have to go through everything, and they have to okay it. So it's not something that happens overnight. That's why it's important to get it as soon as possible.
And how can families reach you?
My phone number is area code 810-736-8891. That's my home phone. And I have an email address. It's rodneykelsey@msn.com. And as soon as I get up, I check the computer. As soon as I get up, this time of year, I check to see if I've got anything. Several times during the day, I check to see if something came through. And as soon as I see it, I will call you back. I'll call you back right away because I know how important it is to these kids to have a family. And it's important to me too. I don't want to say it's a passion, but it's something I enjoy doing. I enjoy working with the kids. I enjoy working with the families, enjoy working with the schools. And I'll do whatever's necessary to find these kids a home.
Thank you so much for joining us today. The last day for students to be placed with a family is August 31st, so be sure if you want to host a student, you go to the website or contact Rod by then. Thank you for watching Orion Outreach. I'm Catherine Havrilla.